Hello, storytellers. Storytelling Ron here. I'm going to talk about the Oscars, sort of, but celebrities, about celebrities. And I live here in Hollywood, and I see celebrities here and there. I just saw Herner Verzog, just in front of me in the line of the Kinkos or copy, the FedEx place, with his, I think it was his daughter, but she was kind of like my age. I mean, he's pretty old. Herner Verzog, interesting guy. I mean, his thing, he was on The Mandalorian. But and this is the thing about celebrities. I am so glad I'm not a celebrity, because it's always a double, like, I always do the double take when I see a celebrity because I'm not thinking about celebrities. And when you see someone, you think, oh, I know that guy. No, oh, no, that's a celebrity. For me, and it's very nerve wracking. Not very nerve wracking, but it's like weird because it's like, okay, I gotta act normal. Am I acting normal? I gotta ignore this person just to be nice, be polite, because I'm not gonna go and bother celebrities. But I'm just so glad I'm not a celebrity because he probably has to deal with that all the time. At the Kinkos, he was just there for his daughter, I believe, to get something for her. And it was like $10 because he was in front of me in the line, and they actually had to move out of the way for me because they weren't ready. Oh, we're gonna get it to you over there. And he turned to me and said, "Oh, here, you can go in front of us now." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And it's just like, sorry, I got this crumbs from last night's little lard tortilla. For a deep fried lard tortilla I was eating. Okay, so and it's just like, they got to deal with this all at the goofiest little places all the time, fearing for their lives kind of thing, like, oh, everyone's doing a double take on them all the time. You imagine that kind of life? Like, I mean, obviously you got to get used to it or whatever as a celebrity. And they got money, but then they have to spend so much money. They have to deal with, they have to hire people, and have to have a manager for their money and a manager for the people they hire to deal with everything, because they can't go do everything. They're not free to just go do things, the way you and I are. I could just go out now and go to the farmer's market with my dog, and I'm not going to be, followed or targeted or double taked by everybody and all that stuff. And, so I kind of feel sorry for celebrities in that sense, but at the same time, celebrities spend all their time aiming to get there, to get that, and it's very addictive. I know it's very addictive because I've been on the fringes of it, especially with my daughter being in it, and she was on the Food Network. She was on Rachel Ray's Kids Cook-Off show and stuff like that, and it was addictive even for us parents there. We got to get to this. All of us parents were like so obsessed with what our kid is going to do next, even though they're doing something really cool and fun. They're in New York City. We're there for 2 weeks filming the show, and my daughter won, to ruin it for you. But the obsession now, like us soccer moms, or whatever it's called, where we just want to get our kid to the next thing. And I fell for that as well. And thankfully, thank God that nothing really came through after that. And I think too, and I'm going to go here controversial. This is my opinion and my belief. I believe that because of my Christian faith, she was not getting any more roles at the for the Food Network, even though she won and was totally energetic on television, on camera, totally followed the orders of whoever directing and all that. And she even went back because she won. She went back later that summer. We went back to film 3 shorts that are on Food Network. And but I was at that time too. I was very conservative and becoming Christian, very like a new Christian. So I was posting a lot of stuff on my Facebook, and they always ask for your social media as the parents. And I was like, you know what? I didn't delete. I just said, you know what? If this is God's will, this is God's will. So I kind of knew. I couldn't make that choice myself by saying, no, we're not gonna do this anymore because it's bad for you. I obviously would, let's do this one. Oh, let's try this one. You got to audition for this. I was so, it's very addictive. And I've got some celebrity things up here, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, kind of want to warn you and warn myself about how it's very addictive and very, you crash afterwards. And and the reason I wanted to do this video too is I came across this with a couple of celebrities as I'm sort of, listening to them as I'm doing my work, like on the Joe Rogan. I listened to one. But the one on Megyn Kelly with Zachary Levi, that one was really fascinating because he said exactly what I experienced, minorly, and then what my daughter kind of experienced. Although she was younger, so she was kind of, well, I'm sure she experienced it, but in her own young kid way. But we were kind of getting recast for different shows on Food Network, and then she had to go through the whole Zoom audition process. But all right, here I'm gonna go controversial, but this is just my take on it, and I think you all will see what I'm talking about here. There's gatekeepers in there, and Gina Carano will agree with me on this, and they're gay, and I noticed that whenever we got to a certain stage, it was a couple of young gay guys running, like the associate producers running the final audition, the gatekeepers. And in Hollywood, that's what's going on. The LGBTQ people, they don't want to be plumbers, they don't want to be carpenters, they want to be gatekeepers, controllers of something. And that's what I notice about him. And every celebrity, I think, has an assistant who's gay or trans or whatever, and they're very flamboyant. They get they get in there, they network, they schmooze. They're the gay is all into schmoozing and getting into the power structure of the celebrities, people. And I got some here lined up to show you. And they control what happens. They act nice and wonderful, and then of course they're going to cry to you and confess how they've suffered being gay, and why would I choose this? It's just who I am. I absolutely have that sort of, I don't know what it is, bias or whatever against, and I see it, and we all know it. Like here, at the Oscars, right? You have to be pro-Islam, you have to be pro-gay, pro-abortion. What kind of art is that when you have to actually pro George Floyd BLM, right? The trans dude that was nominated had to bring, walk back his anti-Islamic comments, his criticism of Islam or whatever is, and imagine that you're an artist. Now you have to tick these boxes in order to be an artiste. Freedom and liberty, but you must must submit to these beliefs absolutely, or else. It's just so pathetic. That things, but gay is one of them. You have to submit to gay. Remember, Kevin Hart was going to be the Oscar host, and that was a dream of his, and because he had he didn't want to raise his son gay, joke. See, so gay wants power. To me, the gays are, homosexuals are all, they're lying to themselves about their sexuality. They're lying about their sin, and I'm coming this from a Christian perspective. They're lying about their sin, and this is any sin, right? Divorce, promiscuity, drugs, whatever, exploitation. When you lie about your sin, all then you want now is power. And God says what evil will be. They will be people who want power, who want control over you. They want to be gatekeepers. They want to have, they'll serve the celebrity, but they are serving them in the desire to be the gatekeeper, to be controlling. And I think that's the reason why my daughter didn't continue in that path or didn't get any more offers after that. And I'm so glad that it happened though, because she's now so hard. She's so into her craft, into her world that's hidden away from all that hoopla and crap that I'm going to show you. I'm just glad that she's not being abducted, not abducted like physically, but like mentally abducted, spiritually abducted into that world that you can crash in. It's an addictive world, and I'm just glad that she's hardworking and into her craft and not into the celebrity whatever. So I don't have this one lined up, but let me just pause this real quick and get this one. The Zachary Levi one was really good. It really started my thought process here. Well, canonized it actually, or whatever the word is. Hold on a second. Okay, so I got a bunch of just celebrity things I just want to just off the cuff riffraff whatever on. So this is the Zachary Levi interview he did with Megyn Kelly, and I'm promoting Unbreakable Boy, but he talks about his depression. He crashed, after doing this and that movie or film, and he crashes afterwards. Oh, and another guy who did that was Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn was talking to the weird guy, the weird actor, in a recent interview, and I just listened to that one too because of Terminator and Aliens and all. I just want to hear his take on that. But he says they crash after they do a project, right? and it's very difficult for them. Let me get my face a little less cut off here. And so that was me, like, yeah, kind of, in my silly little dad, Food Network way, felt that sensation of crashing from this whole thing, this entertainment world, because being a part of a production is like being in a summer camp. And you get to meet a bunch of new people. It's very exciting in that sense. Like you're forced into this group where you're not true friends, but you're like convenience of friends. You all just get together and work together in a positive way. There's obviously little tidbits of tension here and there and all that stuff, but especially if there's gay people on the set, my God. Yes, I'm going to be very biased against the gays. Just my experience. And I have gay neighbors because I live in here in Hollywood, and I treat them with respect and dignity because I'm a Christian. That's what you do with the enemy. And yes, I consider them the enemy. I consider them the enemy of morality. They living in sin. They're sort of married or partners or whatever. But I'm a Christian. I treat everyone with respect and dignity. So there's that. And they probably don't even know my views on stuff. I think they think I'm Christian. I know I'm Christian. I don't know. Maybe they do. But I don't go out there and attack them while I'm walking my dog and say hi to them. I don't. I know when and where. I do not go to their homes and attack people, and like the left does. Okay, so this was just an amazing interview where he just crashed. He was in total depression, and he's in Austin, and he's like, he moved there because he wasn't making it in Hollywood or something, and was doing therapy, and he's in therapy now, and and he's a Christian, right? So, and I'm a Christian, and if I was in his shoes, stuck in that world, and imagine if my daughter had successfully got stuck in that world. So I'm hoping, or I'm believing that because of my extreme right-wing Christian posts on my Facebook. Now, generally now I don't do much there now, but before I was very, I do it now on YouTube. But anyway, so that was just depressing to hear his talk or a revelation, but and Michael Bean mentioning it as well, that they go do these things and they crash, and I got that sensation, and now I don't have that, do not have that kind of sensation going on. So that's the weird, depressing thing here, and about celebrities. Here, let me move on to this. So Jim Carrey, I don't want to go through all the details of it, but I looked it up and got the AI response here. But he's Jim Carrey is like a big actor, right? He's got a big actor. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong. That's not right. Anyway, so here, big actor doing his paintings and all this. I don't know who this guy is, but anyway, makeup artist. Okay, but doing all these paintings, going through his therapy, having these issues, and there's little pictures here, but whatever. Jim Carrey, but he's taking medications. Ben Affleck, same thing, taking medications, alcoholic problems. Whatever pictures, and we saw all the weird, creepy pictures of him drunk in public and all this stuff, and I'm like, and he's even admitted, Ben Affleck has even admitted that he's been on therapy drugs since whatchamacallit, whatever he started with Matt Damon a long time ago, and I'm like, what? You got he's doing all these movies, famous celebrities or women or whatever. And he's on therapy. Like, what? You've got everything that, I or anyone else like, ooh, we want to be rich and famous. He's rich and famous, yet he's got drug problems, drinking problems, divorce problems. Where's the joy and happiness in this? Where's the peace in this? And then his daughter's like a trans now or whatever, because of course they sent him to private schools who are brainwashing him to be that way. So where's the freedom in this? And even like Kanye West, my God, what is, his Christianity, obviously I don't think he's a Christian, but he's obviously jumping onto everything that can emotionally fulfill him, and he cannot find it, and he's rich and famous, and his kids are, he can't raise his kids the way he wants. A billionaire who cannot raise his kids the way he wants because the wife has him and she's taking a private school and they're brainwashing him. What a life. To be so here's let me do this. This is the Oscars. So apparently she was in some sort of devil outfit going to the Oscars. She's going to be starring as the black lesbian she's a black lesbian. She's going to be the Jesus Christ and the Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. I am not going there, and I could walk up there and do a protest, but I have no desire to. But I'm just wondering then if they're going to do this, if Hollywood is going to do this and promote this. I'm trying to think of something that we Christians can do to blaspheme Jews in Hollywood. Just if they can blaspheme Jesus Christ and do a black lesbian as Jesus Christ, then I'm just trying to think of like something we could do to blaspheme Jews. And obviously it would be anti-Semitic, because I love God, I love Moses, I love the Old Testament, I love the Jewish religion, but then the fulfillment in Christ. But I'm very disappointed in the secular Jew, and the secular Jew here in Hollywood especially. And I'm also disappointed in the Orthodox Jews, who are not condemning the behavior of the secular Jews in Hollywood, who always blaspheme Jesus Christ and God in the script, in their movie scripts. And you can tell they do, because you have to write that out. And I remember writing it out when I was writing scripts, and thinking everybody did it. But now I realize, no, not everybody does that. Not everybody blasphemes the Lord and God. It's that Hollywood teaches us to do that. But I'm just like, if they can do this, and they obviously do lots of stuff to blaspheme Jesus Christ, then what could we blaspheme that's anti-Semitic? Like, could we deny the Holocaust or make jokes about the Holocaust? I'm just trying to think. I don't believe in blasphemy, by the way. I don't believe in blaspheming Muhammad or Islam or Hinduism. I do believe in obviously criticizing it and taking it down. But I'm just wondering if they can blaspheme Jesus Christ and do something like this. I mean, or could she play Muhammad? I don't know. In a movie or show production, And if she can do this, why can't she play Muhammad? I'm just trying to get their consistency, which I know they don't have. But because they want to blaspheme Jesus Christ. They don't want us to blaspheme the Holocaust. I'm just trying to say, can we deny the Holocaust or make fun of the Holocaust? Anything to knowingly blaspheme the Jews and their faith and their emotions and their heart. What can we do to attack them at their heart and make them angry, get under the skin and make them seriously angry and whatever? Is that one we could do? Is that one we should do? Make fun of the Holocaust and make fun of them dying in World War II, or their families and their children. Granted, it breaks my heart, but I'm just trying to think of what it is that they find so precious that we could actually undermine and destroy and attack, just for the fun of it, for the entertainment of it. I mean, because this is entertainment, right? I'm assuming. So I'm just bringing that up as sort of a thing. So I would actually say that I wouldn't actually blaspheme the Holocaust, but I, like with a secular Jew who thinks this is okay, I would say, well, then could we blaspheme the Holocaust? Or what is it that you find so dear and important to you that if we insulted it, it would really get you angry? Would it be the Holocaust? Because I'm just wondering what it is. Anyway, it's just kind of an interesting kind of take on this. So this is cool. The Daily Mail is my kind of porn, because I don't actually look at porn or masturbate to porn. And so Daily Mail is kind of my little, don't want my wife to see I'm looking at the Daily Mail. And obviously in the winter it's not so bad, but in the summer it's all like bikinis and boobs, because that's what they got to do, celebrities apparently. But I just like to look at it for gossip, like the celebrity gossip and music every now and then. It's like that, whatever. It's just that fun. National Enquirer is like my go-to for silliness. But it was cool to see Kieran Culkin here do a crazy little funny speech where he's basically making a deal with his wife to have more kids, and he loves kids and he wants kids. So the Oscar for him wasn't as important as him having kids, and that's a wonderful little fun little video to see here. That he, of all the fame, and this is obviously my point in this as well, is that celebrity is not what you and I think it is, or the way they portray it on here, and all this glamorousness and the parties. It's your family. The most important thing in the end is your family and stuff, and your wife, and that sort of dedication and commitment. So if you're a plumber and you have a wife and you have kids, you're already ahead of all these celebrities and stuff. In that sense. And because I want to show you something real quick. I think I have it on here. This one here is Ed Henry. He's a famous Fox, or was, or I don't know where he is now. But being a celebrity, man, and this woman, this is here in LA. This is the Mocha modern. She's posing in the Mocha, whatever. but they have these texts here, and she's like, it's very submissive, very porny, that she's seducing him because she wants more and more positions of power, and he's falling for it. You know, he had an affair, you know, many affairs with her, and sexually, this is his wife, and so he is having these affairs with her at CPAC and the conservative whatever, and they're very nasty. I've heard a lot of people have these nasty texts between each other. I don't do that with my wife at all, but here she is, and she's, look at that, ooh man, porn star whatever, and she's totally wants, I just admit, like, thank God I am not famous, because I'm a weak man too. I would, you know, if someone like this continually, so I'm not judging Ed Henry in that sense. What I'm saying is, I'm just glad I'm not a celebrity like this. I'm glad I'm not a David, right? A King David or Solomon, because this is what happens when you get too much celebrity. You get harlots, and you're a target. You're a target for all of this. And we're, you know, men are weak, obviously, and I just don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of that. You know, I don't want to destroy that with my wife and my daughters, and show them this kind of world where, you know, she's trying to be she's using her sex to get role or get better positions as a producer, and she's obviously addicted to the glam and the fame, and yeah. I'm just going to go through a couple more things here. This is just fascinating. Gene Hackman, man, him getting that old, whew, man. I'm kind of semi-fascinated by this. How he was just this great actor, and now he's like this old dude, and his wife is 20 years younger. Oh, I had another one of him and his wife. I don't see it. Darn it, I thought I had it on here. But it's just weird to see him that old, you know, and decrepit. Now, my take on this is, it's weird because he says that he, in this interview, or this little bit here somewhere, right here, I think, what I'm doing in acting, I'm just totally enraptured. But when I see myself up on the screen, it's that I see my grandfather there or something, you know? I see, you know, I think of myself as being 21. You do too, I know. Yes, but then when you see yourself, it's a whole different story. So I remember telling this man of mine, or when I was a Christian, I was doing sort of a Christian thing with this man, a friend, and well, his daughter was a friend of my daughter, and then I talked to him about stuff. But I was telling him, and he said, you know, he used to party and all this stuff, and I said, you know, all of our partying and womanizing and all that, just like this, is like, it's almost like all of that is about watching. It's basically a soft porn movie or a bad movie you saw a long time ago. You know, all of our whatever we've done. It's just watching a movie you saw a long time ago that you can never watch again. That's all that is. That's all that ends up being. And what's important is the here and now of, like, what you have done to this point, knowing who you are, and the people around you knowing who you are, your wife, your children, and just, I don't know, his end of his life is about him. He's in all these big movies, Gene Hackman, right? All these big movies, all these cool movies, and yet his life is about him saying it doesn't look like it's not him. He doesn't feel like it's him. You know, he's in the moment. Is he with his wife? You know, his second wife. Is he with his children? Is he finished the race in a way that has family around him loving him? And his end sounded really weird. It sounded like he fell down and hurt him. You know, died from falling because he just got so old. And then she committed. It sounded like she kind of offed her. So I don't know. I don't know the final on this, but it's just kind of. I'm not judging him harshly in any sense, but I'm just trying to say, in the end, it's like, are you with your family? Do your children remember you well? That's like the most important thing. Like, I don't think he's caring about all the movies he did, all the films he did. I just don't. It doesn't seem like he cares about any of that. You know, that fame and stuff. I mean, he's got comforts. He's got his home. What was I looking at here? Okay. She's a billionaire. Right, a billionaire, and she becomes, and then Christian. She needed Christian. She became a Christian, so that's awesome. But before this, she was a billionaire, right? She was RFK's vice presidential pick for him when he was sort of running for president. But she's becoming conservative and a Christian now, all because of seeing all this. But it's just crazy how you're a billionaire. You have everything you want, billion, but she change. Now, not that every billionaire becomes a Christian, but I mean, it's just kind of interesting because to me, Christianity is amazing. It's amazing because look at this. In China, they have projected to be 250 million, in a few years, 5 years, around 260, 200 million. So to be a Christian in China is horrible. And I've heard like atheists tell me, oh, it's where you're born or whatever. But in all these countries where you're a Christian, and it's the most horrible thing to be, because you can be arrested, persecuted, or whatever, all across the world. Christianity is the number one thing being persecuted. And it's just amazing to me to see these Christians are exploding in China, probably more so than even here. And they, I don't even know. My point is just all of this is going towards Jesus. I guess that's the only point I have here. I'm just looking around about as celebrities and fame, and what's the answer? And the answer is Christ. The answer is family. The answer is Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ, when you get Jesus Christ, you begin to want family. When I said, God, I love you, and I told my mom, my wife and daughters, and they saw the change in me when they were younger. They saw the change in me, and I told them, look, and this is, I visualized this too over and over. I went up to the mountain. I didn't tell them, I don't know if I described this to them, but I told them the meaning of this, or the concept. But when I go up to the mountain, and I given up everything, and I find God, the old wise man in the top of the mountain, whatever, the sage, whatever, and I say, God, I love you more than anything. Love you more than my wife and my children. Because when I was an atheist, I loved my wife and children more than anything. When I went up there and I told him that, and I visualized this, it just constantly kind of kept coming in my head. And then the voice from it wasn't even a sage there anymore. It was the voice in the sky. And he just says, good. I said, I love you, God, more than I love my wife and children. And then he responds with, good. Now I will show you. The first thing he says to me is, now I will show you how to love your wife and children. And the love I got after that for my wife and children was incredible. It was way more than when I was on my own as an atheist loving my wife and children. When I was an atheist and I loved my wife and children, I wanted my wife to be porn starry. I wanted maybe fake boobs, whatever. She kept getting older with wrinkles and all that, and I was like, ugh, I want to lose weight. I wanted to, and of course I was getting fatter. And of course I masturbated porn all the time. So when I was an atheist, I love my wife so much. I wanted her to be a porn star, right? Because I was addicted to porn. My daughters, I loved them so much, but I would yell at them out of anger, out of impatience. And my older daughter especially was the one that took most of it. And she was paralyzed with fear whenever, she basically shut down whenever I yelled at her. And she waited until I was done. And that was her survival mode. And then when I was done, she slowly came back to normal. But she had a survival mode, which was shut down and freeze as I was yelling. When I became Christian, I learned how horrible I was to my daughter. I loved her so, as an atheist, I loved her so much. And yet I did that to her. I should probably switch over to my full screen. But when I became Christian, I realized what I was doing to her, how I was yelling at her, how my anger, I saw it, and thank God, a few years later, I told her how sorry I was about all that. And so it's a wonderful thing now. So she likes to bug me now. But with my wife, I now love her wrinkles. God showed me I love her everything, her little goofy mishaps, her aging process, her scars. I love everything about her now. I still give her a hard time, call her fat and all that, and joke around with her. But I love her sexiness. She had to make a rule, like within that first couple months when I gave up porn, which was really weird, it was so easy and weird and miraculous. But she had to tell me a rule that we can't do it every night. That was when I became Christian. That was her. Like, I was like, oh man, I want you. Like, it was so weird. But I wanted porn so much, masturbating to porn. But then after that, I was like, I want you. That's all I wanted was her. And it was crazy. And she's like, okay. So I'm not trying to brag at all. I'm telling you, I don't, we're a little more even keeled now, but it was just nutso. got a couple more things here I'm gonna go through. Okay, what else I got here? Not the B. Oh, that was just this thing. Okay. No, that's that one. Oh, so here's one little interesting. Just I don't know. This is just part of the whole thing. The Chalamet guy. You know, he's got this Jenner, Kylie Jenner, and he was with her. And I did see Nosferatu. That was the first time I really even knew who she was, and Johnny Depp's daughter or whatever. But it's just funny here. I'm just kind of reading through this because I just got hooked on the clickbait on it. They did an insane move at the Oscars. I'm like, oh, what did he do at the what insane move at the Oscars? Because I didn't watch the Oscars. So it turns out that when she came up to present on stage, because he was dating her before or whatever, they left and the seats were empty. So I'm like, you know, it's just like you guys are celebrities. You're rich. You're powerful. Or whatever. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. I'm still going. I got some more stuff to talk about. But they got up and left when she was presenting. You imagine that kind of life? You're a celebrity, and then you have to get up and leave when your ex presents or whatever. And then they went to the same party that night. You know, so here you are, millions of dollars, glamorous. Everyone's got their cameras on you, you know, whatever. But it's still like high school drama. You know, it's still like the same lameness or whatever. And there's I read a little blurb in here where he said like he was with her on a yacht in some place, and it was just he said like the most beautiful moment. And then he reads later how dumb it was, how people were dogging it and dogging him, and he looked terrible in the pictures, and you know what I mean, like and I even tell this to my daughters, like, or to anyone, like, if you're in a relationship with someone and then you break up, like you go to Paris with them and then you break up, well, it's not the trip to Paris has to be erased from your memory now. You know, it's like, it's almost like you're erasing years of your life. Like, it's like death. You're erasing years of your life when you don't have the same wife in your relationship. You know, when you do all these things, you have to erase. That's the saddest thing about divorce, about breakups, and when you don't commit yourself to someone, is that the memories that you have now you have to forget. So you're literally, so, you know, if you die at 70, but you divorce someone that you were with 20 years, then technically you only live till you were 50, you know, because you have to erase that. And that's, to me, like another like thing about this, about women chasing women or having women or having all the, ooh, I got a new girl now. Well, that means that you had to erase the memories of the last 2 years or 5 years that you were with that other person. So it's a prison. It's a someone cutting away at your memories in life, and it's not even freedom. This is not freedom. This is jail, like, or whatever. It's torture. It's I'm going to cut out pieces of your brain and remove them forever, you know? So that's what that is. It's sad because the only joy in life the true joy is having a marriage. And this is all the winners and stuff. I didn't even realize that was there. So same thing. I was just looking through they went to some party, some after hour party, and they have to avoid each other. You know, famous people. Okay, whatever. All right. One last thing I want to talk about, very controversial, very creepy, is this. Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale, and this is where I also got hit on the whole the gays getting into one's life. Now, let me see if I can even do this. So, the premise here is that she can't, look at how she has no older posts, because she had them there and then they suddenly disappeared. And now she's brought some back. So I'm very curious what's going on. She must have freaked out. Or her assistant told her to freak out. Or her assistant did for her. But here's the video. This video got deleted on her Instagram post. And I've already mentioned this in another video. But she is talking about the sexual harassment she's had to go through. And she doesn't look well to me. She's very skinny. She looks bulimic in that sense. She's way too skinny here. Something too much makeup-y things, too immature looking. Something very creepy is going on with her, and I'm a little concerned for her because I don't know. I used to watch her Underworld series, and I was kind of fascinated by her in a sense. You know, it's kind of I don't know if it's not. I'm not obsessed with her or anything, but she just comes across my radar, and this came across my radar, and and her talking about the sexual harassment and her and being, and she's fessing up here, and this is on Summer Tot Hill. Look, it's really small too, but she got the video. But anyway, she's talking about how she has to do whatever role they tell her to do, otherwise she's going to lose, get blacklisted. So she's a big star on a lot of big movies, and yet she fears for her job, her addiction of celebrityism. She fears what's going to happen to her, And look, this is her house, I think, her room, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't think this is a workplace. I think this is like her big empty rooms in her big empty house or something. No kids. I don't think she's even married. I think she's just kind of, a little weird, a little off. So people, and she does look a little off here with these pictures and stuff. But here's something I noticed. I don't want to go through a lot. This is her mother. Look she's hanging out with her mother. I think that's her mother. But, that's her mother. I don't know who's her mother, but whatever. This old lady. But she's not with a man. Blah, blah, blah. She's not with, I don't see her with anyone. Where's the picture? Maybe it's this one. Okay, this is the one. Oh, that's her mother. Sorry. But, where is it? Okay, this guy, obviously, I'm not going to do the audio, but this guy here, Ass Eating Pro. So this is this is creepy to me. This is the gay assistant, I'm assuming, because of that. These are the guys. I don't know if he's gay, but he probably is. This is my bias, this is my opinion. But I think that this Ass Eating Pro, look at that. And that's what he's exposing to the mother. He's probably a traditional, she has to be happy and laugh. And she has to just, even though that's a disgusting, vile cap that this Ass Eating Pro. So he's saying he's vile, the worst kind of sodomy, and she has to accept it. And they're in the home of Kate Beckinsale because that's what they do. They get in your home, they're super nice and wonderful, the gay agenda, and they manipulate them. They control them day after day, slowly. That's my biased Christian, right-wing, close-minded, stubborn, bigoted view of this. That the gay people across Hollywood, they find their ways as assistant producers, into the celebrity homes, and this is how they control them as well, and get them on board with their gay stuff and their agenda and all that. And the gays kind of have to, or the celebrities, they have to submit to it. And it's like they're little spies in their homes, for the Hollywood Oscars and all that. And it really disturbs me in a sense. I mean, not really, but but it's just, I wish she was married. I wish she had kids. I wish she had a love of her life. Any beautiful woman. I find her very intriguing in that sense. And doesn't look like she does. Doesn't look like she's trying really hard. And she just doesn't get anything. So that's just my take on celebrityism, and look at this. She had to delete there used to be all these videos of her doing stuff and being sassy. I think the first time I saw her was on Daily Mail, and they had this really hot picture of her, at 56. I think she's my age. And then I was just intrigued by her because she was in Underworld and, whatever. But but that video of her talking about how she was so treated on set and sexually harassed, called the C word, because she was being picky or whatever. And I'm like, dang, celebrity, being a celebrity. And now she can't really go out. So she needs these gay friends to come and watch movies with her and hang out with her because she can't go out. I mean, if you go out, you're going to be targeted, right? In a sense, by weirdos and people who look like me, but are weirdos. So it's just, I'm just glad I'm not a celebrity, man. I'm glad I live in Hollywood. And I do some, I go to a goth club. So, but I am getting older. I'm getting kind of like, I think I want to do some old people stuff now. I need some help here. What do we do here in Hollywood? I'm at my age now. I mean, we're back sort of into the money thing now, so we're doing okay. So I'm like, I think we need to go out and do some regular weird, oldie stuff. Old white elitist stuff, whatever it is here in Hollywood, in LA. I'm looking up wine festivals. Like maybe that's what I should be doing. I should be doing wine festivals, with the wife, or I don't want to go to the opera. I hate concerts. I hate just sitting there and watching music. I like to dance or be it like in an open area, like kind of like a beach festival, wine festival, where I can move around and watch the concert if there is one, cover band kind of concert and small, and then I can go off and do something else. I don't like concerts that much. I went to the Rolling Stones with my wife and daughters, and it was okay. They played their classics, but then they played a bunch of new stuff, which nobody cared about. You have like 100 classics and you play 12 classics, and then you play 12, I don't know how many songs there were, but it was just so weird that they were promoting a new album. Who cares? You don't need a new album, just play your classics. But I'm just at that point now in life, where I'm like, I'm glad I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want. But I'm like, this is the Oscars, so I thought and this has been on my mind coming across some of the celebrities, and I like to hear interviews from celebrities from old movies, any sort of stories they have, about the production and stuff. But that's what's been coming across my feed was these stories about just being a celebrity and how it's a crash, it's addictive, it's emotionally just unstable, and and all the soap opera drama of it all is this high school level, and then you have to live in bubbles, and it's just, I'm here to say I'm glad I'm not a celebrity, and I hope you're glad you're not a celebrity, and I hope that you understand that the best thing in life is that our humble life, because in the end it's our family and our children and how we treated them, our wives, how we treated them, that's going to fulfill our lives in the end. But the only way that really is going to happen is if you are a Christian, because that is the core of goodness, and God is going to give that to you, bless you with that when you are a Christian and you have done that, and committed to that in your life. So, I mean, not guaranteeing it, but that is the statistical core of Christianity, whereas it's not the statistical core of paganism or secularism or Jewish secularism, if I can dog them a little. So yeah, just my little take on celebrities and the Oscars, and jumping on, I don't know if it's a bandwagon or what, but it's been on my mind just because I've been watching, the Levi thing, and he's a Christian, but he crashes, and his need and addiction for that sort of hope of getting roles and stuff. And they don't have control over it either. It's just like hope he gets it, hope I get it, kind of a thing. Yeah. Anyway, just to take on all that, in this game of life, that's my point too. Is you roll holy dice if you can. If you can ask, here's the simple thing about Christ. Ask him to come into your life. That's the secret. That's the secret handshake, the secret code. Ask Jesus Christ to come into your life, and see what happens. In the game of life, everybody, gotta roll holy dice.